Hello everyone, my name is Sandra with Twisted Tree Frog. Today we're going to be making some little quick to make Christmas platters. They're just in the shape of a Christmas tree, and this has texture on it. Hard to see what the texture is. I used a vinyl placemat for this one. Nice and easy because you can make them and dry them quite quickly if you don't dry them unevenly. So I'll let them set up a little bit and then I'll put them on a shelf that I have that is a metal shelf, so it lets air get from underneath as well as on the top and no direct fans blowing on them. So you can make these still in time for Christmas. You might even still be able to make them if you have a later craft show, but they make great hostess gifts. You can take it loaded with cookies or treats or whatever you want, and then leave the plate itself with your hostess with the cookies, and it makes a really personal, nice gift. So let's get going on these. We're going to put some texture on it and let's have fun. I rolled this slab on my slab roller to 3/8 of an inch thick. If you don't have a slab roller, you can still do these projects. You can buy slab sticks at the ceramic pottery stores. And all you do, I have mine off center a little bit, all you do is place those on each side, take your rolling pin, and as you roll, it's going to keep your slab even and to the thickness that you want. If you don't have the ability to get to a ceramic store, you can use paint sticks. These are what these are. So you can stack them up too, or you could take a small one and a large one and come up with different thicknesses. So don't let the lack of a slab roller or thinking you can't do slabs any other way stop you from doing these projects. I have compressed the other side of the clay already. So the reason we compress our clay is we want to align the particles so that it has strength. If you think of a load of shale, if you just try to walk across it when the dump truck first drops it, you could twist an ankle because everything is pointed every which way and there's no stability to it. If you take those same rocks and lay them down in an order, flat one on top of each other, then you have a lot of strength and stability. So the same thing applies with the clay. You want all the particles aligned. So what I like to do, I'm going to be using a Christmas tree cutter. If you don't have one, you can do one freehand. You can trace it and cut it out later. But I do have these cutters. I will link this in the description below. So I just like to put the mark of the tree onto the clay. I don't like to cut the clay until after I put all the texture in because it does misshape it a little bit. And then this way I can cut it evenly. So I'm going to put some cornstarch all over here to stop the stamps from sticking. It just puts a dry layer on the top of the clay and makes things work just a lot better. And on the stamps too, I will pop some cornstarch on them as well. Okay, I am going to see if I can get this to cut through this plastic. It gives a nice rounded edge on the top. I do have a fan going so that I stay cool. Okay. So that looks about right. And if you just walk your hands around, you can get that nice curve on the edge. And we'll have to still do more cutting. And I find it easier to pull the clay away from the cutter than to try and take the clay away after it's cut. You just get a nicer finish on the edge. You also can spot any little spots like this one that's being a little bit difficult. And get your needle tool in there and make sure it's nice and clean. I keep my clay covered. I might do some little trinket dishes after this. So if you cover it up and keep it covered, then it will not dry out. Depending what you're working on, sometimes you want your clay a little more moist, and sometimes you want it a little more set up. Just clean these off a little bit. I'll do more cleanup later on when I'm finished so that you don't get bored. Just grab those little pieces hanging on. If you take the time to do this now, then they are actually detached from the piece, and when it dries a little bit more, you'll be able to just brush them right off. So the one thing we want to be mindful of, though, is anytime we have a sharp point, that gives us a spot to crack. So what I like to do is take my needle tool and just make sure, using the back end, that everything is a soft corner, not a point corner. And of course, when I went around with my needle tool, I made some that were soft corners a little too pointed. And this one will round off. And then you shouldn't have any problems. Okay, so we are almost done at this point, because all we're going to do, we want these edges curved up a little bit, pardon me. And so what we're going to do is I just take some of our inexpensive synthetic potter's sponges and cut them into quarters. Grab these. So now all I do with these is place them under the tree branches. And just go for the angle that you want your tree branches to be. I like a little bit of a curve on them. That way, if you've got cookies on there, they don't fall off. And the further up the tree you go, the fewer little sponges you'll need, because it is quite a bit more supported. I know I have more sponges. I'm not sure where they are. So you want to make sure too that you're supporting these little inside curves so that you don't stress that out. So I just pop those like that, and there we are, done. I'll let it firm up a little bit. See if we can get this zoomed out a little bit. So there we have it, a quick and easy little platter for goodies, for gifts, for less expensive items at the craft sales. We know that everybody is kind of watching their pennies right now. So it's nice not to have those labor-intensive projects that you have to charge accordingly for, and nice to have something that you can whip up in a hurry. And there we have it, a quick and easy gift item or sellable item for the holidays. Not too late to get making those. On that note, I'd like to say thank you very much for joining in today. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like the video. It sure helps me. If you want to see more of the videos, then feel free to subscribe and hit that notification bell, and you'll be notified every time a video is released. I will link the items, as I said, in the description. If you have any comments or questions, please put them in the comment area down below. Get out there, get dirty, have fun making, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for joining in, and have a wonderful day.